Ready to manifest the money, business, and life of your dreams? Do you wish you had more ease and flow in your business, your finances, your relationships, and everything else? There's a way to manifest simply, easily, and effectively without exhaustion, and I'm here to show you how. Hey there, I'm Elise McDowell, money mindset mentor and seven-figure CEO. And in this podcast, I will teach you how to reshape your money mindset, manifest consistent money, increase your business sales, transform your self-concept, and create the life of your dreams through the power of your mind. I'm here to help you go all in on you so you can go big in everything you're here to do. Let's get into the show. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to another episode of Girls That Manifest. All right, I've got a really cool manifestation story for you. And I think it's just so cool and such clear evidence, especially for me, especially for what I've been manifesting, what I'm kind of going through right now. It's just perfect evidence, perfect feedback that, oh my God, we're the creators of our reality, right? So the story goes, I was on my walk. I go for a walk every single day because I live in the most beautiful area by the beach. And everywhere you go is just like natural beauty everywhere. So I went for a walk, my normal walk. But while I was on this walk, right, I decided that I was going to manifest a $50 note. I was like, wouldn't it be cool to find a $50 note? Wouldn't it be really fun if I just came across a $50 note while I was on my walk? I've never found a $50 note ever on a walk. I've only ever found $20. And I'm pretty sure I've told that story where I was heading to this market with my mum and I reached into my bag and I was like, oh my God, I forgot my wallet. And right as I said that, I saw $20 just sitting on this hedge that I was walking past. And I was like, okay, well, I don't need to worry about that. So I've never found anything more than that. And more importantly, I haven't deliberately intended to find money like that. And when I initially decided, wouldn't it be cool? I'm going to manifest $50. I'm going to find it on my walk. I decided that I was going to find it on my walk. But when I did decide, I was like, but $50 is a lot. It's kind of a big bill to just think that you'll find out here on the road or on the street. Because, most people don't carry cash anymore. And if they did, if someone saw that, they're not walking by a $50 note. They're going to pick it up, right? They're going to snap it up straight away. And so I had all these little mini doubts. But as we both know, it's not the momentary passing thoughts that manifest. It's who you are being. It's who you have decided you are. That is the most important thing, right? So I was like, no. I'm going to find, manifest, receive $50 on my walk. I'm gonna receive it, and I decided that I would. And then as I continued my walk, I was kind of looking around for it, kind of being aware of my surroundings and just being like, oh, is it over there? Or what about there? Or maybe it's there. And I didn't particularly love the looking because I was like, I'm just looking at the ground now. And I would like to be seeing where I'm going, but also looking at the beauty around me. So anyway, I got home. And I hadn't found anything. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. Kind of forgot about it. But that night I actually sold something on Facebook Marketplace and this woman came over to pick it up. And when she came over, she went to hand me the money and it was a $50 bill. And I was like, oh, it was $20. And she didn't realize she had a $50 bill. She was like, oh no, oh my God, I don't have anything else. And I was like, oh no, oh no, what are you going to do? And she's like, I'm going to have to go break it. I'm like, yep, that's cool. There's a supermarket around the corner, blah, blah, blah. You can go do it there. So she goes and I think to myself, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that she came with a $50 note? I feel like this is feedback. I feel like this is evidence, but also universe, I said I wanted $50, not 20. So 50, okay, 50. I want 50. I'm finding 50. And then she came back and gave me the $20 and took her thing that she bought. That's fine. Next day, I wake up. It's a beautiful day, blue skies, not a cloud in the sky at all, sunny, warm, gorgeous, perfect day for almost winter. And I was like, okay, let's go for another walk. So I go for a walk. And by the time I'm on this walk, I've completely forgotten about the $50, right? but I'm walking for about maybe 5 minutes. And I like to walk along the waterfront first because I have like my usual route where I like sort of walk around the waterfront, walk up to the wharf and back, and then I head over to the other beach and I'll go and sit at the beach and meditate for a bit. And then sometimes I'll go up the hill, up the mountain. So that day, I did my usual walking along the waterfront. And as I was walking, I was just looking at the beauty. It's just everything is beautiful, anywhere you look. So I'm just inspired. I'm happy. I'm in the sun. I'm getting my vitamin D. It's good. There's a lot of people out. And I just happened to look at the water sort of closer up to the shore. And I see something floating in the water. And I'm like, that kind of looks like a $50 note. That's so weird. And as I walk up closer, I realize it is a $50 note. And I was like, oh my God, that's mine. Oh my God. And so there were heaps of people walking past, but none of them seemed to have seen it, or at least they saw it and didn't do anything about it. And I was like, okay, well, that's clearly for me. So I walk back a couple of steps to go down the stairs to the beach. And then I take off my shoes. I pull out my leggings and I get into the water and I pull out this $50 note just floating in the damn water. And I'm looking at it what the fuck? I'm like, holy shit, that was so fast. That was less than 24 hours. And now I actually have a $50 note in my hand and it was just floating in the water. And I was trying to think about how could that have happened? Who dropped a $50 note in the water? Where did it come from? Did it come from my side of the what do you call it, the city? Or did it come from another side? Did it float all the way there? What time did it get there? How come no one else saw it? How come no one else picked it up? Did it float in at the right time enough for me to see it, to realize it was mine? I don't know, but that was clearly for me, right? That was clearly for me. And so I know enough now to know that this is real, to know that our work is literally who we decide we are. It's all self-concept work. That's how we manifest, right? I know enough to know that this is the truth, that we are the creators of our reality, that this is a damn simulation. It's like a matrix. When we really own our power and we stop defaulting into disempowerment and losing ourselves in the illusion that we have no power. And when we fully own it and we fully know it and we come to the truth of it, that we are the gods of our reality, that I am the I am, you are the I am. Oh my God. It's everything. It's almost like you enter a completely different realm where everything is shortcutted and everything is possible. And you don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to think about how, you just know it's done. So the lesson here is that you don't need to fix everything or do everything to manifest something little, something medium, something big. You don't have to do any of that. And if we're talking specifically about money, most women are trying to manifest more money, but they're stuck in one of these 3 beliefs that I see all the time. And I definitely have had these beliefs as well. And the first one is I have to fully believe it before it happens. You have to be in complete knowing of faith, knowing, believing that it is yours. And the truth is you don't need to fully believe anything. I didn't fully believe I was going to find $50. I was more it would be cool. And I decided that it was done, but I didn't necessarily believe. Just like in my business, I didn't necessarily believe I was going to make 7 figures. I decided that was what I wanted. I decided that I was going to see myself and my business in that way as a 7-figure business, but I didn't know, I didn't believe fully. But there's a difference between believing and knowing, believing and deciding, believing and choosing what you get to have. Believing for me is almost like I'm trying to make myself know something that I don't. Right? I'm trying to make this self-concept that I'm currently in, or the character, as we like to talk about, the character that I'm currently playing, believe something it doesn't. But instead, if I just go back to the truth, that my essence, the core of me, the I am, I know that everything is possible. I know that everything is done, that there's nothing else to do. Creation is finished, right? So I know I don't have to try to believe any of it because it's already done, right? I identified as a person who gets what she asks for, and therefore that's what I get. That's the power of self-concept. Another belief that women get stuck in is I can't have any kind of negative scarcity, lack thoughts and be wealthy. Like it's impossible to have both. The duality of them cancels each other out. And no, no, it's a no. It's a no. You can absolutely have scarcity and be rich. You can be like living in scarcity for your entire life and still be rich. I know that sounds crazy, but I know plenty of people who have and are. So it's not the thoughts, it's not even the feelings that you dominantly inhabit. It's who you say you are, right? It's who you say you are, who you have decided you are. That is deeper, that is more ingrained, and that is more connected to the source, the essence, than any kind of thought or doubt or feeling or emotion, right? It's who you say you are is what manifests. Because I've had plenty of scarcity thoughts. I've had plenty of lack thoughts. I still have them for like different various things. I still experience anxiety as well, but I still have an incredible fucking life. Like it's astounding to me how amazing shit still gets, even though I am very human and have a very human experience happening all the time, right? It's who you decide you are. So when scarcity thoughts come up, just let them pass. Don't fight them. Don't let yourself spiral. Just see them as like, okay, there you go. I know who I am. I've decided who I am. I've held the vibe anyway. I'm in the identity and the energy and the intention anyway. Another very common belief, block, whatever you want to call it, that women get into is that only big amounts of money can come through my business, right? If we're talking about big, large sums, not necessarily like a $50 note, but large sums, everyone cannot fathom the money coming from anywhere other than like the lottery or their business, right? Or like some inheritance. Like those are kind of like the big three, which is understandable. Like you don't actually need to think too much about how it's going to come through. It's going to come through how it comes through, but everyone gets caught up on the how, right? It's like, I say this all the time. We're such control freaks, especially if we're in business. We need to know everything. We need absolute certainty because business is quite uncertain in a lot of ways, especially if you're new. It's very uncertain. So you want certainty. You want to know how it's going to come. And so for you, you know that a business is probably the most logical way for it to come. So that's where you're going to like put all your eggs, right? You're going to put all your eggs in the basket of your business, and then you're going to take action because that's what most people think that's going to get the result. And then you wonder why like 10 years later, you're still not there. You're still not making seven figures, still don't have the huge sums of money. You're still kind of struggling. And it's because it's energy that changes that. It's energy. It's the self-concept. It's who you're being. That is what actually creates the outcome. Because if that whole time you've been in business and you've been hustling and doing the work, showing up in the way that you were taught to or you want to, but you have always had a self-concept like that this is hard, that I still have to work and grind, and I don't always get what I want. It's always like the next month or the next month or the next month, but I never quite get there. Newsflash, that's how it's always going to be, because that's the self-concept you're in. That's who you say you are, right? But if you started saying to yourself, no, I already have a seven-figure business, even if you don't believe it, but you don't have to believe it, remember? You don't have to believe it. Even if you begin to say that, begin to decide, no, fuck that. This is now a seven-figure business. This is a seven-figure business. I don't have to fucking do anything else. This is a seven-figure business. I have decided that there is no struggle anymore. I've decided I'm no longer a business owner who never quite makes it. I've decided I'm a seven-figure business owner. Imagine how differently things are going to change. The thing about that, though, is you have to be consistent and persistent in it. Hence why we persist. You don't just say it for like 5 minutes and then it doesn't, if it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, woe is me, now I have to go back to the old self-concept. No. This is serious business. It's also fun business, but it's about persisting. right? And the money can come through anything, not just your business, but this is where most of people put their belief. But I encourage you to think outside the box. Allow the option of money coming to you in so many different areas, so many different avenues. It doesn't mean like it's never going to come through your business again. It means that that channel's open, it's free flowing, but why not open yourself to other channels as well? For me, that $50 note, it came from the fucking sea. The sea, the ocean. It was just floating in the water. That millionaire energy, that massive abundant energy, that big abundance energy is open to receive from anywhere, right? Your job is to become the person who is open to that from everywhere, not just a tiny little channel that you have created with your matter to matter action. Because what actually matters the most is your vibrational frequency. And so I always say that self-concept is like the key to manifesting, right? But the best stepping stone to get started with that is dealing with your frequency, dealing with the vibrational frequency that you're emitting on any given day, at any given moment. And the reason we focus on that, why it's easier to focus on that, because if I said to you, you need to change your identity, you'd be like, what the fuck does that even mean? You need to, like how Neville says, there's no one to change but self, right? The easiest way to do that, or that I know how to do that, is to tend to the frequency first. If you can nail your frequency, then changing the self-concept is going to come really, really easily. Like all of the corresponding experiences, thoughts, feelings, emotions are going to come if you nail the frequency. Because frequency is the language of the universe, right? So every thought and emotion and intention you hold emits a frequency. And quantum physics has proven that like attracts like, right? We love a little quantum physics. But your energetic state, what it does is it sends out a signal, right? A transmission, I guess you could say, that the world reflects back to you through people, opportunities, through experiences, through events, through circumstances, through income, through business. It's not magic, it's magnetism. It's why you can go into a room full of people and there's certain amounts of people or certain types of people that you're more drawn to than others. It happens every single day. And we don't even realize it. We take it for granted. We think, oh no, that's just how it is. No, that's magnetism. That's vibration. We resonate with different people because we're on different wavelengths, right? I mean, Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time. You can't create a new reality from the same personality. You have to shift your energy to match the future you desire. He talks about this, like it's what he says day in and day out. I always remember that he said, when you meditate, you cannot get up from that meditation the same person as the same person who sat down in it. You have to be a different person, right? Well, this is what self-concept work is. This is what frequency work is. We have to be different in our frequency and our energy in order for things to begin to change, in order for us to decide new rules and stick to them, right? Because yes, you can say like, in this moment right now, in this self-concept, I am now a person who makes 7 figures, or I am now a person who's a millionaire, or I am now a person who's found $100. But if nothing in you actually decided, and nothing in you claimed it, nothing in you owned it, nothing in you truly chose that and knew that that is who you are, it's not going to happen, obviously, right? Because you're still in that old self-concept. So when you're vibrating in lack and hustle, and it's not happening energy, even unconsciously, because if that's been your experience, then that's kind of the self-concept that you've been in the whole time. You're going to be blocking the flow of money, but the flow is never actually blocked, right? It's just your decision that it is. It's you who's decided it's blocked. But when you're vibrating at certainty or at overflow or at receptivity, and pay attention, you don't have to be happy to be certain. You don't have to be in a constant state of bliss to have overflow. You don't have to even be like full of energy if to be receptive, right? You don't have to be any of those things. But you can know that you are. You can be certain even when you're tired. You can be absolutely resolute in knowing that you're a millionaire even if you are super stressed out, right? And when you know, money has to meet you there. It has to meet you there. So like going back to the $50 note, because I know it's small when you think about the idea of having millions, right? But it's all the same thing. It's just energy, right? But for me, I had two choices. I let my little doubts spiral me into maybe it won't happen. Okay, maybe I should just let it go and stop thinking about it. Or I could just stay in the vibe of the woman who simply gets what she wants, right? I could declare and be like, nope, this is it. I'm getting it. It's done. I chose the second. And even though those old thoughts popped up, like people don't use cash or it's unrealistic, why would that happen for me? That hasn't happened. I haven't found cash in a long time. I didn't fight it. I didn't try to reframe every thought, actually. I just kind of went, nah, I'm just going to ignore that. I just held the frequency of like, I get what I decide. The frequency of I get what I decide. Not perfectly, but persistently. And then 24 hours later, that $50 note literally floated into my life. That is not logic. That is not a coincidence. That is energy. It's motherfucking energy. And like, let's talk some proof, some stats, right? And in 2006, there was a study published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine found that high emotional states like gratitude, appreciation, and joy led to greater coherence in the body's electromagnetic field, which, if you know anything about that, enhances intuition and decision-making and synchronicity, right? When you're in a good state. So me going out for walks, I'm always in a good state. I'm always in gratitude and appreciation because, well, I mean, everything is so beautiful. So it's not hard to be. So it makes sense that it actually came in that way. But it doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time in order to receive, right? The HeartMath Institute, which is who like Joe Dispenza has worked with, I think Greg, what's his name? I keep wanting to say Greg Kinnear, but he's an actor. Greg Braden works with, has shown that your heart emits an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain, and that this field shifts dramatically based on your emotional state, meaning your inner frequency is literally affecting your outer world at all times, not just when you think of it, but at all times. Your heart doesn't switch off, right? At all times. And from a neuroscience perspective, when you're in a high frequency emotional state, your reticular activating system, or RAS as a lot of people like to call it, the part of your brain that filters information, begins selectively tuning into opportunities, people, and ideas that match your dominant vibration. It's why when you're in a good mood, the day flows. And when you're stuck in lack, even good things feel heavy. But when you know who you are and you have decided that you get it all anyway, that's that deep self-concept, that's the I am, that's the knowing, then it can easily bypass all of that stuff. You can manifest from that place when you know. So, we have a lot of evidence that frequency can really help bridge you into that self-concept of I am the I am. I'm the God of my reality. I can create anything that I want. It can help you get there. And the truth that I live by is that you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you're being, right? And that's why you can be doing all the right things but stuck at the same income level, stuck in the same toxic dynamic in a relationship or in a workplace. It's why you can have strategy nailed or the funnel built and the offers like out there to sell, but the money still isn't coming in. You can believe in manifesting but not actually allow it in at all because your frequency always overrides your effort. And the frequency is the gateway to beginning to develop the self-concept. And this is why I created Millionaire Energetics, which is my 5-module program to give you daily energetic tools to shift into that millionaire life that you want. To shift into, instead of seeing yourself as someone who's always trying to get there, always trying to make millions, always trying to have financial overflow, to being the person now. Right? This is ultimately, it's a program about identity and frequency of the woman who receives millions from her own choice, from her own decision, from her own energy. And when you step into that, oh my God, I already know it all shows up. It all shows up. Everything shows up. The money shows up. The people show up. The miracles show up. The clients show up. The customers show up. The subscribers, the followers show up. Like, it's so ridiculous how it all shows up when you stop tampering with the 3D, when you stop trying to like micromanage every single thought that you have and every single feeling, and you just go back to the knowing that you are the God of your reality and that your frequency is one of the fastest ways to get started with that. Oh my God. Oh my God. So if you do want help with that, I am offering my Millionaire Energetics program for 90% off for like a very, very short amount of time. And I'm never going to offer it at that price again. It is honestly probably one of my favorite programs, and my students have absolutely loved it. And they're getting amazing, amazing results with it. This is what I did in order to get to the 7 figures in my business, because I found that I was like stuck in a place where I kind of was like always chasing it. I was in this self-concept and in this frequency of like, I'm always trying to get there. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying to get there. And it just was creating more of trying to get there. And then I realized, oh my God, I have to be it now. I've got to be it now. I've got to decide and choose that it is already happening now. And then everything I did in order to do that, because, you know, lots of stuff happens. So inside you get 5 juicy pre-recorded modules. You get lifetime access. You get a lot of energetic practices, affirmation and mindset rewires, and a complete vibrational upgrade to manifest more, hold more, and feel safe with more money and get your millions. And if you're ready, make sure you head to the link in the show notes below. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you sign up to my free Abundance Vault with 20 plus money mindset and manifestation resources. Link is also in the show notes below. And I will see you in the next episode.